didn't save enough.
All right, I'll go ahead and call to order the regular meeting for November 12th, 2024. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our mission statement is Learning for Life. Our vision statement is Southgate Community Schools, the best choice for students and parents. With that, I will entertain a motion on the agenda.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay, a motion by Dr. Pomponio. Is there support?
Support.
Support, Ms. Angel. Any discussion on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have an agenda. It brings us to presentations. First is the curriculum presentation.
Yes, we actually have a presentation from Dan.
We have to spin her on.
We can get it.
Good evening.
So I went to
I need to get onto the internet. That's what's going on. Thank you for coming.
What's the problem? It's not
It's not connecting to the internet. Let's see.
a city of Southgate. I just can't.
Did it disconnect?
No, hit the.
Thank you.
Oh.
Sometimes you just need moral support.
Yeah, this one, the code conduct. That may have already been done.
Nick wants the thing right now.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's already stated that video is against regulations, right? This is just saying.
No, because they were posted. Well, this just adds it.
Records, I thought that. Yeah, now it makes sense.
Now it's in violation.
Yes. Thought about the old
Record?
fashioned.
Repeat.
Yeah.
Thank you for your patience. We had a lively discussion about curriculum moments ago.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, how are you? Thank you.
Well, good evening, board. How are you today?
Good, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I have the honor of presenting this evening to you some course proposals for Anderson High School. In front of you, you have a packet on page 2. It outlines the courses that we will be proposing tonight. And then you have a detailed description of all 3 that will be proposed this evening within the packet. I'm really happy to look out into the crowd and introduce myself as the Katura. Godfrey Wood is the curriculum director. But we also have with us this evening Mark Hanson, our assistant principal of the high school, and Lakin. And they told me your correct pronunciation earlier. Thank you. Gotcha. and Noelle Schauer, who are here with us this evening, who will be able to talk about their programs to you. So the purpose of the scope of the curriculum this evening is to talk about digital media and advertising, multimedia design, and game design. These are 3 courses that will be added to our CTE program upon your approval. For our purpose of the scope of the curriculum for our digital media and advertising is to equip students with the knowledge and skills required by the state for entry-level employment and marketing, explore a variety of media strategies and techniques, and to gain hands-on experience, provide a comprehensive foundation for students, professional and academic advancement in the field. And so Lakin has proposed this course, and she can address some questions for you in a little bit. Oh, sure. Thank you. Okay, thank you. All right. I feel like I'm a little farther away from you. The next program that we'll look at, course, is multimedia design. And multimedia design is to gain a solid foundation in web design, video editing, and digital media production, building practical skills through hands-on projects and industry standard tools. Additionally, to prepare for future roles in web, game, and mobile app design and broadcast media. And to develop digital communication products. And this is Noelle's, and she worked with her administration to bring this forth to us this evening. In addition to that, Noelle is also bringing forward purpose and scope of the curriculum for game design, to develop coding and game design skills, create original games, explore emerging technologies, gain a comprehensive understanding of the digital media industry, create a portfolio of projects, provide opportunity to earn industry standard credentials and college credit. And I wanted to share that the students that you're seeing in these pictures as we go through this are students of Noelle's. I had an opportunity to speak with Noelle during a Zoom call recently, and her enthusiasm and passion for CTE came right through, and she is so incredibly knowledgeable about the standards for CTE and things that are coming. So the curriculum alignment, when we're thinking about it, we're not engaging in purchasing a program tool like we did for mathematics or for reading, but rather we are aligning to the standards. So strengthening career and technical education for the 21st Century Act. When it will be soon aligned to Perkins 5. They'll be in new CTE standards. They're not yet released. They're anticipated in spring 2026. But we're having a proactive approach in looking at our curriculum for 25-26. They're still immersed in much of the language that is available in the current computer science world, but these will take us forward into the 21st century. We didn't consider any additional alternatives to the curriculum because we're not purchasing a tool for them to do this, but rather we're leaning into existing tools that we have, software for the students to use, aligned to the standards that are required by law, and the teachers will be teaching to the standards. The implementation plan would be that the teachers would begin this curriculum path in 2025-2026 school year, beginning at the onset of the year. At this time, there will be no new added costs to the district. The technology requirements, as I shared, most of what the students will be engaging in is software, but you can see that we'll need our school provided desktops, Chromebooks, and the software that the school provided as well, which is already software that we own, is Adobe Photoshop, Canva, After Effects, Premiere Pro, JavaScript, and HTML. The way that this process worked was the teachers had a creative idea about how they wanted to engage with the standards a little bit differently than they had been before, and more in line with the new standards that are going to be released. So they engaged in collaborative conversations with their building administration. They talked about the quality of the content. They reviewed alignment with the course goals and with the content standards, and then identified if there would be any necessary additional resources, which there are not. And once they were fine, the administration submitted the course proposals to the curriculum office for review. And as needed, the curriculum director met with the teacher to address any remaining questions. And as I shared, I did have an opportunity to speak with Noelle, a very engaging conversation about what she's bringing to our district. Professional development, both of these teachers are very self-motivated and have been engaging in continuous learning on their own, engaging in the latest research and through the collaboration of Technical Education Network. In addition to that, if there were opportunities that they wanted to capitalize on, they would work with the curriculum director and we would allocate grants, resources to be able to fund those professional learning experiences. So at this time, we open up for questions and we do thank you for your consideration. And I am going to defer to my experts. So if you don't mind coming to join me, that would be awesome.
Wait till they get-
So we have with us tonight, Lakin, who will be able to talk more specifically about the course that they are offering. And we have with us also, who will be offering Noelle. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being here this evening. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. All right, so do we have questions?
Yes, so do we have any courses similar to what this is right now offered?
If you want to speak to that?
Yeah, so right now, web design is a course that Noelle is teaching, and her two courses that she's proposing will be replacing that course. It's actually taking it and expanding upon it and essentially renaming it. But
Okay, with these new courses, will we need any other equipment to purchase that will accomplish their goals for what they need for that curriculum?
Not at this time. The software that they need to be able to have students engage in is already purchased and owned by the district.
Okay, and also with this being something that's more high-tech or more innovative for job opportunities, is there any future opportunities for them to work co-op with any other companies that would like to hire them with this program?
You mind talking a little bit about the certification, the student certification?
Yeah, actually, right now for web design, I have students right now working with clients. So they're actually designing for clients at the current moment. So I'm actually modeling the class after a CT course at the current time. So they're already starting to do that because I wanted to put the wheels in motion to start that as a CT course already. So I wanted to start that curriculum to kind of model that and start putting that in motion so that it could become a course that would go into DCTC to be funded so that it would allow us more opportunities. So
Okay, good. I know that there was I think an opportunity for students to go to Apple programming, I believe, through the school. And a lot of students get merged off into different job opportunities, so that was good. So if that can happen here, that would be great.
yeah, it would allow credential opportunities too for programs. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Other questions we can address for you?
I just had one. How did we choose these three topics? Well, the three, digital media, multimedia, and the game design. How did we decide on those three rather than 44 others? I'm not criticizing, I'm just asking how we arrived at those decisions.
I can't speak on her class specifically, but the two that I'm speaking about is multimedia and game design. Those two are two that I'm endorsed in. So that was something that came from the fact that I already teach graphic design. And I, as an elective course, I have the web design and engineering course. And it's kind of a misleading name at the current moment because engineering isn't really part of the course anymore. It's just web design. And so because I'm already endorsed in multimedia and resource design, it was something that evolved, throughout the name. And so web design is already part of the course. And so then I started to decide, well, why not incorporate multimedia into that? And then the second year of the course would be game design. So once you know coding, then you can evolve into game design because you know the coding portion. So that's kind of the decision I made. It was based on the fact that if you know this, then why not go ahead and have the coding done and establish the coding and then go into game design. And it's a course that would interest students in game design. So.
Sure, thank you.
Mine's a little bit different. Mine is almost treated as an extension of the marketing classes. So original marketing classes, they are building the fundamentals of their marketing and design. And then we also have retail marketing, which is running the Hideaway, the school store. So that is more like the physical aspect of the advertising. And everything, almost everything that we do in this day and age is digitalized. So that's why we're shifting another extension for the marketing class to the digital and the multimedia use. So that was the message behind ours.
That's good.
Interesting. And then one last question. I think on one of the slides, it said there's going to be an understanding of the industry. So it's not just a tech learn. We're not just learning the tech side. Is there something to this where I understand the structure of the industry and what the difference, what the supply chain and value chain looks like? Is that what you're working on as well? If not, that's okay. I just thought I saw that on the slide.
Part of the CTE curriculum is having an industry connection, so we have to hold an advisory board to the industry, so we always have to keep connected to industry professionals. So part of that is having work-based learning and connecting them to industry professionals and talking to industry professionals, bringing those speakers into the classroom, taking them into a work-based learning environment and having them understanding how that connection happens. So that's all of that exposure is part of the curriculum already. So both of us do that already as part of our curriculum. So it's an easy transition to already do that within our classroom. So adding this into our classroom already is an easy transition.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
So we're capitalizing on their skill set and their credentials and leaning into the new standards to be able to provide expand opportunities for students.
How many sections are we anticipating in class size or like enthusiasm for this?
Well,
Loaded
that's-
question.
That's part of starting a new program, is trying to figure out how that's going to go. Right now, Lakin's class would be run at the same time as her retail marketing class. So it would supplement some of the numbers in there. And if it grew larger than capacity, we would have to expand upon that. But as of right now, we're trying to combine it with another class just to kind of give us a little buffer if we don't get, 35 kids in it, that it's combined with something else. So it's going to work well together. And then for Noel classes, it is a 2-year program that she's looking to do, but those are going to be taught in the same hour as of right now. So right now, web design, first years and second years are taught at the same time. They're both taught 6th hour. They kind of have her shared attention, but she does a really good job at that. So she's able to engage students that are first years and second years simultaneously, and it does help that a lot of the work is online and working with the curriculum that's there, and not as much that's all just stand and deliver. That's not really what she does there.
So do we have an effort to advertise? I mean, we're digital media and advertising. Are we making an effort, or should we grow that interest?
Well, this is kind of the early stages of getting the course approved, and then once we can do that, we can look to push our CT courses. We'll have CT tours next week, where all of our 9th and 10th graders will take a tour of all of our CT classes to see what might engage them the most and keep their interest and spark their attention. So that is one way we will promote that, but we will also have the counselors, when they're going around setting up students to schedule their next year's courses, make sure they're touching on that as well.
Thank you. Sorry, Jason.
That's okay.
So you mentioned certification. What kind of certifications would they be able to get?
Any of the Adobe programs. So obviously in that class, Adobe Photoshop, After Effects, Premiere Pro would be the year 1 class. The year 2 class, game design is working in Unity. I'm exploring Unreal as another option right now. So either of those programs would be a possibility, but Unity would be one of the choices.
They have to pay a fee for that, or is it through the
CTE
class?
funds, Perkins would cover that.
Okay, wow, that's good.
Yeah, it's nice.
Thank you.
So just, I guess, so I'm understanding, 1 credit means 1 hour every day, right? Not a, because I know some of the CT come in like a 2 hour or 2 hour blocks.
They're 1 hour classes.
1 hour classes. And then is there a different multimedia design class? Because I see it's the prerequisite for multimedia design. Is there a different one, or is that
No, the multimedia would be the year one class.
Oh, so there's no prerequisite for
No
that class then?
prerequisites
No,
for
I know
that.
that might have been a misprint there.
Oh, okay. And then obviously you won't have any second year because you don't have anybody who meets the prerequisite, right?
Well, the hope would be the year ones that I have right now would want to take the
Oh,
game design second
that would
year.
count as the same
Yeah,
thing and you'd move them in. Okay.
Yeah,
Did you have it as two classes now or just one?
I have 2 classes right now.
So these two are basically going to replace those two? We're just changing the name and expanding them a little bit.
Name and expanding what the curriculum is.
Okay. Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming this evening. You answered questions that I probably wouldn't have been able to. Thank you, board. Are there any other questions for me?
No.
No, thank you.
This is the one down below. There's one below.
Oh, just turn it on. Nobody else needs it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Barb, can you drop in? Thanks.
All right, second presentation we have is first read for the Student Code of Conduct revision.
Yes, I am proposing, we are proposing a modification of the Student Code of Conduct. Right now, number 35 states that violations of building rules and regulations are a violation of Student Code of Conduct. They have penalties of administrative intervention to permanent expulsion. We would like to add that a student who records a violation of building rules and regulations or the Student Code of Conduct shall be in violation of the building's rules and regulations. Right now, all of our language ties recordings to social media posts as opposed to simply recording them. We do want to make an exception if anyone records it for evidentiary reasons and immediately provides it to the administrator. But we do feel very strongly that we are right now missing a component in our code of conduct to make sure that simply recording other students violating rules should be a violation of the rule. So it's kind of one of those common sense pieces, but right now, most of the social media online presence is a factor in tying the use of electronic equipment. So that's a first read. So everything that you've heard tonight is just a first read. We will bring it forward for formal approval at our next board meeting.
Any questions on the policy revision? All right. Next brings us to citizens' comments. Anybody who would like to address the board for up to 3 minutes can do so at this time. Is there anybody who would like to address the board? Come on forward. If you could give us your name and address, please.
Michelle Hodgkinson, 1833 Cora Wyandotte. So I took notes because I get a little emotional when I come talking about my baby. I feel like Lion King. Have you ever seen the meme where they're like, I made that? That's how I feel. So I wanted to take a moment to sincerely thank you for giving me the opportunity to be part of such an incredible community of students, staff, and families. Joining the Southgate family has been an absolute privilege, and I am continually impressed by the outstanding things happening in our schools. I am so appreciative of the opportunity to serve in this district, and it is with great excitement that I share that I've chosen to enroll my son at Shelters Elementary. The level of care, dedication, and commitment the staff has for each child is inspiring. The high expectations and standards, along with the wonderful opportunities provided to the students, make me thrilled as both a parent and an educator. Just last night, we went out and bought my son his Titan apparel, and I can't wait to see him start this exciting journey. What I witness daily as a principal makes me proud beyond words, and now as a parent, I am filled with even more joy knowing that my son will be a part of this fantastic environment. So thank you once again for this opportunity. I am truly proud to be part of Southgate, both professionally and personally.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak tonight? Again, name and address, please.
Oh, Alyssa Roberts, 13240 Westminster and Southgate.
Thank you.
But the Christmas concert, can I ask like why it was canceled? Because all of my kids have gone to Southgate schools and they've all been able to do it. Now I have a kindergartner who's so excited and was looking forward to it, and now it's gone. Now I just want to know like why, and was there like any kind of voting or anything that brought this to just cancel it?
Again, this is public comment. We don't respond as a board. If you have questions, you could contact the board office or the superintendent. He'd
I'd be happy to
answer
reach out to you.
Okay, can we talk today maybe?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak tonight? Okay. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and we'll close the public comment. Brings us to the consent agenda, which consists of October 22nd, 2024 regular board meeting minutes, an HR update, and October 2024 disbursements. I'll entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay, I have a motion by Dr. Pomponio. Is there support?
Support.
Or Mr. Lamas? Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes. Turn the floor over to.
Yes,
Survey.
thank you. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you our new middle school, middle years program, IB principal, Jessica Garcia. She is here this evening with her family. Jessica Garcia comes to us with over 20 years of middle school, middle years program with the IB continuum experience, both as a teacher and as an administrator. She is coming to us from Waima High, which is just recently ranked the top high school in the state of Michigan. So I know from experience, very directly, having had over 7 years of direct contact with that program and with Ms. Garcia as a professional and as an educator. She is an operational genius. She is instrumental to what it became. And she was actually at the ground floor of Waima High and started the program from scratch. So I would say that there is no one more qualified to take that role and to start us from scratch. So it is a tremendous honor to introduce her to you this evening. So you can wave.
Welcome to the district.
Thank you.
We just had our verification call today and it went well, so we're excited about it. So thank you for joining.
Sure. Come on over. Yeah, speech.
It's not required, but if you want to.
Oh my gosh, thank you for that just lovely, lovely interview. I am so honored to be here. I had the privilege of starting to meet some of the community today at the elementary school, and I am so impressed with what you all have built here and the support that you're giving to the community to start an IB program. And I am honored to be a part of building and continuing on what you have already started. So thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to start this journey with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's tough to follow, but we're gonna have to do some
You can try.
business now.
You can try.
Get onto the action agenda. Is the approval of the Davidson Professional Laminator purchase. I mean, a laminator purchase. We're following this up with a laminator. All right.
You know, you didn't pick the order.
All right. Who's got this one?
Yes. I don't see Kelsey here, so I am going to jump in and be Kelsey today. We have a need for a laminator replacement at Davidson. It does meet the over 3,500 threshold. The laminator at Davidson is not working at this time and has not been working for a while. Our PTO was gracious enough, the new PTO at Davidson, in which we have an officer here, if not the president here, to say hello, had planned to raise money for the laminator. And I very graciously told her, thank you. But we'll take it from here. So we are going to use district funds. Please use Davidson money for kids. We'll do it for adults on this side. So we're excited to have a resource again at Davidson, and it's a simple one, but it will be one that brings great joy to the staff there.
All right, any questions about the laminator purchase? Dr. McClure?
Yes, so what's the life of a laminator or the professional laminator?
Well, we have laminators that have lasted 30 years. So this is a 30-year one that we're replacing. And we do have some that are in that 30-year range that are still surviving. Grogan's right now is still running, and they are in that range. And I would say that almost all of our laminators are in that range, but we are going to be replacing the ones that are also not working. So it's a good investment. It's a pretty significant machine that lasts quite a bit of time, and hopefully they make them as good as they used to.
Okay, and then also is the price, I don't know if I have all the bids there, but is it comparable within the market for that type of professional laminator?
Yes, that is. That's school specialty, that's the consortium pricing. So
Okay.
it is already established as considered the lowest price available.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll bring the discussion back to the table. Entertain a motion on action item number 1.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Davidson professional laminator as presented.
I have a motion by Dr. Pomponio. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Ms. Angel. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Action item number 2, approval of the purchase of the Anderson Art Department kiln.
Speaking of products that are out of date and not working anymore, and we are presenting the purchase of a new kiln for our art department. The current one we have is, again, roughly 30 years old. We have another one that is not functional, so that I think is kind of just a really big paperweight at this point. But the one that is functional is not safe. There's a fire risk. It does take 7 to 8 hours of someone staying after school to make sure that it doesn't catch fire. And we put a lot of money into renovating our building, and I would hate to see that go away because the kiln that we have is not adequate at this point. There are 3 quotes for a new kiln. We are making a recommendation for the Roven Ceramics with a 2-year warranty, Ramp Master 2, at a price point of $6,280.
Yes, and it is important to recognize that our other options are out of state, and the only way that we're going to have someone available to service it, if it's needing service, is to have it within state and providing a service plan. So that is the $6,000 one. The others, if we purchased, if it went down, we would just be buying a new one, likely. So.
And the one that is being requested is produced in Ann Arbor, so it is local, and our art teacher, Kelly Bernard, has a relationship, a working relationship with this company and supplies and things like that. She has a good knowledge base of how to make sure that that's kept up.
Any questions?
Looks like the diameter, it's 29 by 27. Is that about right? I mean, that's, so it can cook a pizza.
It would burn your pizza. But it would, yeah, it's a good size. And the benefits are that instead of having to sit there and watch it the whole time to make sure, it is automated, and if it gets into a danger zone, it will automatically shut off, which is not the situation with the ones we have now. So she could fire those things at 7 a.m, be done at 2, and know that it's not going to cause any issues.
But the size of it is adequate for what their needs are, yes.
Thank you.
Is this something we can install, or do we have to have it installed? Do you know?
I'm not positive of that.
I verified the power requirements for the kiln prior to purchasing, so we should be able to take the one out and put the one in place. We don't have to run new power to the kiln.
Just wire it right back in?
Yep.
Okay.
It's already got disconnect and everything ready to go.
All good. Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, I'll bring the discussion back to the table, entertain a motion on action item number 2.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Anderson Art Department kiln as presented.
Okay, a motion by Dr. Pomponio, is there support?
Support?
Support by Mr. Lamas. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Action item 3, Anderson High School Student Council trip.
Hello, everyone. I am here seeking your approval for the Anderson High School Student Council students to attend the Student Leadership State Conference. Again, this year in Grand Rapids. It's the same weekend as last year, February 22nd through 24th. This is a great networking experience for our students and student council. They're able to go here and interact with their peers across the state while working on their own leadership development. And then during this conference, they'll learn about the innovative ideas that others are doing and hopefully bring that back and implement them at Anderson High School. The expenses for this trip are covered by their fundraising efforts.
Any questions?
Are there any other conferences that students go to, either for business or any other? So I think this is a great exposure for them to get to the conferences. And
I know that this is the biggest student council based trip that is available in the state. There are other opportunities that some of our students are taking advantage of, but they're not directed just towards student council.
okay, well, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Any idea who the keynote speakers are?
I do not know. I attached their the agenda on here.
Okay.
And unfortunately, it just says keynote speaker number 1 and number 2. So I'm sorry, I don't have that information.
Keeping it flexible. Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll bring the discussion back to the table, entertain a motion on action item number 3.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Anderson High School Student Council trip as presented.
I have a motion by Dr. Pomponio, is there support?
Support?
Support by Mr. Lamas. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. All right, approval of the Davidson Middle School scoreboard.
Good evening. The scope of the work is to remove the existing scoreboard and install a 4-foot by 8-foot fixed digit scoreboard in the gymnasium at Davidson Middle School by Electromagnetic Visual. Electromagnetic, we have 2 numbers for the scoreboard. Electromagnetic Visual is going to remove the existing scoreboard in the gym, install a 4x8 fixed digit scoreboard. It's for multi-sports, for basketball, volleyball, and wrestling. It comes with controller, options for red or black, and no charge. We attach a spec sheet. The board's made in Michigan. The warranty on the board is 5 years for the scoreboard and 5 years for the controller, and that's for $14,000. The second price we got was from Nevco, another very good company. They were proposing a similar board, but they did not include installation of the board, and their warranty for the controller is only a 2-year warranty versus a 5-year warranty is the major differences on this pricing. Their price point was $8,740.43. It's our recommendation that the Board of Education approve option number 1, electromagnetic visual display for the total cost of $15,400 to come from bond funds. That includes the price of the board plus $1,400 in contingency for any unforeseen. Questions?
Dr. Pomponio.
Is that larger or the same size as what we have now?
It is different
Significant.
dimensions, but pretty much the same
No,
size.
it's significantly larger. It should be the size of our multipurpose room.
Yes. Sorry.
And it's significantly larger than what's there. What's there has been there also 40 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Must have had a sale on kilns and scoreboards and.
Well, we're turning our attention to the DMS gym. You know, we
Definitely.
spend a lot of time on the high school gym and all the athletic facilities there. And now we're turning our attention to the Davidson, the gym itself. We're removing the rock climbing wall. It has not been used for about 15 years, and it's just problematic to have there. You cannot use it without a certified climber, an instructor, and that's not something that we have available. But we will be painting, we're replacing, making sure that our backstops are fully operational, putting up our new scoreboard. We have quite a bit of work that we're hoping to provide to that space.
And do you know when that's going to be put in there or installed?
The
Or when they
scoreboard,
can be? Yeah.
it's usually 4 to 6 weeks. They build it here in Novi. So it's pretty standard. Shouldn't take longer than 6 weeks we got some painting we're trying to line up.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, just one, I noticed Nevco's name on the score table too. Is there any reason to combine the two, or does it make sense to buy both these devices, the scoreboard and the table from them? Or if it doesn't, I don't know if they work together or not.
The score table and the board don't need to be the same company to work together.
Okay.
And this board had a better warranty on it, and it's, here in Michigan. So if we did have anything wrong with the board, they'd be out to, repair.
Okay, thanks.
Seeing no further questions, bring the discussion back to the table. Entertain a motion on action item number 4.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Davidson Middle School scoreboard as presented.
A motion by Dr. Pomponio. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Wallace. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. 5th item is approval of the Anderson High School and Davidson Middle School scorer tables.
Good evening. The athletic department is proposing the purchase of the new digital scores table at the high school and a static backlit table for Davidson Middle School. Both are 15 to 20 years old, and a replacement is warranted. It's starting to fall apart, and areas are starting to chip. And what we are basically quoting to do is we had Nevco, Sideline Interactive, and Power AD. Nevco is a 10-foot full-color display that significantly upgrades what we currently have. There is software that entails and goes with it, so it's like a full digital area with a 3.9 millimeter digital board. Then we went with the backlit 8-foot for Davidson for, obviously middle school events and not hosting as many sports that we constantly doing at the high school. Each of them has the possession arrow for the scores table as well as the cover. That is a key component when storing it away. And out of this, Nevco, if you can see, the price is a little bit more expensive, but a lot of that entails with a 5-year warranty on the digital or even the 8-foot score table, that if a panel or something goes out, they will replace it for up to 5 years. So they said if a panel goes bad, all we have to do is call them, they'll send a new one, and we'll fix it. And so it basically covers that too. I personally have seen all 3 companies' scores tables. Nevco, out of all of them, when I went to the MIAAA conference for athletic directors, they had all 3 tables there. The Nevco one was really above and beyond better than the rest of them. It was very put together, and you can tell that they took time in getting every little detail in there, from the wheels to the table, and you could tell the metal on there was pretty high standard. The software that the digital table comes, it comes with the laptop and everything preloaded on there. You can put your own graphics and add things to it. A lot of it will go with the digital media class 2, as Lakin and I work together with the scoreboard for football games. It'll kind of be something similar to where we can kind of broadcast stuff throughout our basketball games. So I'm not going to ask her to do it because she'll be coaching basketball, but we definitely is keeping up with everyone else around. So we are replacing an older version and definitely a newer version. So total price on it is $22,579.43. That would come from bond funds, and that would include the one 10-foot digital table for the high school, one 8-foot backlit static scores table. There's a little typo on there, but those were basically the amount for both of those. Any questions?
Dr. Pomponio.
So I know I've probably seen it, but I don't know what a scorer table is.
So at the basketball game or a volleyball game, it's where many of the workers are there running the scoreboard, where the officials come in, where kids check into the games.
Okay.
So it's the centerpiece of the gym. Everybody's looking at it throughout the game. And so when we see it or when it's up and running, everybody's like staring at it. So over time, you look at it and just say, wow, it's, I can just say from experience this year, I had to kind of put a couple of the cords back in and up and around because it was starting to fall apart because one side was out, the other side was on. So definitely going to be a different board.
So the graphics, what can it display?
We can do advertising if we want to. We can say that we could put teammate of the week, kind of the same thing that we do for that are on the corner. There's like stuff that can do that, but that's more down the road. More or less, what you can do is putting in foul calls or American flags for the national anthem, displaying our logo with our team name.
I think that the opportunities that we really have are showcasing our students on there. So just like our football scoreboard, where we have a LED display that allows us to post pictures of kids who are engaged in that sport at that moment. We also have that opportunity in the gym that would provide that.
Okay, oh, good. Okay, and what we have now wouldn't be able to do that, right?
No, it's not
Okay.
digital. There's nothing there. Yeah.
No, we've got a couple of Band-Aids and some tape on it.
Nice, okay, thank you.
Any other questions? No? Thank you. Bring the discussion back to the table. Entertain a motion on action item number 5.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Anderson High School and Davidson Middle School scorer tables as presented.
Okay, a motion by Dr. Pomponio. Is there support?
Yes.
Support by Mr. Lamas. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. Action item number 6, approval of the Ford Line Large Playground.
The playground at Ford Line is in need of being updated, and to make sure that we're able to meet all the needs of our students, we've received the following 2 quotes for the large playground. Great Lakes Recreation came in at $234,316. The warranty for Great Lakes Rec is based on the equipment listed below, and there's a full sheet attached for all the warranties. Limited 15, limited 10-year, limited 8-year, and limited 5-year, depending on the structure. I want to highlight that this includes installation, mulch, removal, disposal in the quote. The other quote we received was for St. Clair Rec. For Great Lakes Rec, it's $234,316. For St. Clair Recreation, it is for $337,164.91. It's our recommendation to purchase Ford Line's new playground equipment from Great Lakes Recreation Company. I request the board approve the purchase in the amount of $257,816 from the bond account. That will include a $23,000 $500 contingency. We've also spent the time to look at the playground at Ford Line to ensure that there was no underlying issues at the playground that we'd run into at this time.
Any questions, Mr. Hart? Oh,
I do want to jump in and say that the pricing on this is actually pretty unique. They have taken half off of the equipment purchase itself. We still have to pay full installation, but they're giving us close to a $250,000 equipment-only playground and charging us for about $145,000. And that has to do with the timing. So we had a game time grant opportunity that we were kind of comparing two vendors with, and the vendor, Great Lakes, came back and actually honored that same benefit. So we are really going to be able to provide almost a $350,000 playground to Ford Line for $230,000. So it's, I think, going to be really exciting for Ford Line kids. I think that they've really dealt with a playground that has not compared to many of the others, and this will be a very unique opportunity. We are going to pull it forward so that it's directly against the asphalt area for ADA accessibility and the other components that we're also responsible for with OCR.
Is it too late to install this year, or
Oh, is that?
too late to install this year?
No, well, we have to purchase it by this year. Actually, the installation wouldn't happen until spring, but it will be in this it'll be in this school year, yes.
Thank you.
Playgrounds are 6 to 8 weeks, depending on time of purchase. And they will ship them first, and after they ship them to us direct, then the playground installer sets them up. But with winter approaching and footings, it's too late right now before the winter months to get this playground installed.
Now, does that include the smaller playscape too, plus the bigger?
The smaller playscape will stay intact. So this is all just replacing the larger area. So we're going to remove, we're probably adding, I would say almost 100 more PlayStations,
Yeah, I see,
play
yeah.
places for that. We're removing some low value equipment and we're really,
And also, what is the fiberglass signage? Is that just something that's educational or?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
The fiberglass signage
Where are you seeing that, please?
in the front. It says limited 8-year warranty.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fiberglass signage. So yes, a lot of these playgrounds come like, for instance, if you have bongo panels, it'll say bongo panels. So signage across the playground explains the activities that the kids are able to utilize. The different stations. So they have a board. It explains how you can use the board. Sometimes there'll be notes on the board, and that's part of the sign, so they can play a tune if that's, involved in the playground.
Okay.
So that's kind of the signage they're talking about.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
any other questions for staff? All right. Seeing none, I'll bring the discussion back to the table. Entertain a motion on action item number 6.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Ford Line large playground as presented.
Okay, a motion by Dr. Pomponio. Is there support? Support by Ms.
Yes.
Angel. Oh, Ms. Angel beats so. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. Last item on the action agenda is approval of the overnight hockey field trip.
All right, so the approval for the 2-night stay in Tawas for games on Friday and Saturday with a return trip on Sunday. Both games will take place at Tawas Bay Ice Arena. Departure is about 10 a.m. on November 22nd with a return on November 24th in mid-afternoon. Transportation for this trip will be provided by Dean, and the funds for this trip will be covered through hockey funds. The only cost at the district is the transportation to and from. So they're taking care of the lodging and everything for the driver that they'll be using. This is an opportunity for our team to play a couple other teams from around the area up there and good way to get away and team bond, especially coming from many different school districts, since our hockey team is made up of SMCC, Etzel Ford, us, and Dearborn. So it's a pretty big co-op for hockey. So earlier in the season, it allows them to kind of gain the cohesive bond between each of them. And so we are basically just requesting the permission for this opportunity for them to partake in this trip. Any questions?
Any questions for staff? All right. Bring discussion back to the table. Entertain a motion on action item number 7.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the overnight hockey trip as presented.
Got a motion by Dr. Pomponio. Is there support?
Yes, indeed.
Dr. Lamas? Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Brings us to the last item on the agenda, which is I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Dr. Pomponio. Is there support?
Yes.
Support by Mr. Lamas. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.